Welcome back to the channel, guys. So we heard back from the inspector and we failed the inspection. Not for any very bad reason, but apparently the size of our laundry room is small enough that without a vent into the house, like say we close the door behind us, if we close that door, supposedly the propane dryer could suck all the oxygen out of the room and I guess the flame could die, and then it would spew propane into the room, which we can all agree would be a bad thing. But so we basically have to put a vent between the laundry room and the living room. It'll allow airflow, it'll be fine. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut it. I asked him what size it needed to be. It needed to be a 12-inch by 12-inch. So back here, this is the wall between the laundry room. And so we're just going to basically put, I think, a vent over here. And because the light switch is here, most likely there's wires either going down from here, which is most likely, but they could also possibly be going up. And I don't want to deal with wires in the wall behind, like in the vent. So we'll have to cut a 12-inch hole here and then cut a corresponding hole in the drywall on the other side. And but I think we're going to do it over here. So maybe, I don't know, I'll grab the stud finder and see if the stud is here or here, because these are always attached to a stud, almost always. But yeah, so we're gonna figure out where to cut the hole. 12-inch hole, 12-inch hole on the other side, put up a couple grates, and that's all it takes. And then we send a picture of that to him and he'll pass the inspection. So, and then we will be very close to having a tankless hot water heater, which was very exciting. Okay, so I found the stud. It runs on this side.
He's right here.
This whatever. So the box that's in here is nailed to the stud on this side. So if there's the middle of one stud, 16 inches over should be the middle of the other stud. We're actually going to do this higher up, but it's much easier to find the studs here and then grab a level and translate it up. So I'm thinking we need 12 inches. So if we come 2 inches in from this side of the stud, 2 inches in from this side of the stud, that should give us 12 inches. So we'll just, that way we don't hit any studs and we'll have a nice clean pass through the wall. Okay, so he mentioned something about it being 12 inches from the ceiling, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna go 12 inches from the ceiling. That'll be the top. We need it 12 inches tall. Sometimes I hate tape measures. So that'll be the top, the opening. And then Casey had a very good point about being able to put on the grate. It's always easier to screw that grate into a stud. So we're gonna get a grate that's 16 inches wide and just make this thing from stud to stud. So we figure out where the stud is, supposedly. In this house, this is all guesswork. When I grab the multi-tool, I'm gonna go in here and then go this way until I hit the stud. I'll find exactly where the stud edge is, and then I'll draw my vertical line based off of that point of contact. All right, cleanup crew, let's do this. Yeah, there was a screw right there, or a nail.
That was a very neat hole.
Thank you. So this is where I cut through at the top. And then apparently where I cut through at the other side is on the other side of this cabinet. These are coming down because the reason we are having propane put in here is so we can put a propane dryer in. And when we put in the propane dryer, it's going to stack on top of the washer. So the cabinets have to come down anyway. So if I just pull the door off, falling in love with these types of hinges. Then I can just go in like right there, and that'll tell me exactly where the edge is.
Okay.
Oh, we're not far off at all. So it came in right here.
Okay.
So I can, it would probably be easiest to cut that from the other side.
You think
that
so?
line, but I need a bottom point.
So I would
stop.
then just do that bottom, just cut the
Yeah.
top and the bottom, and then you have your stop points.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so 14 1/4, which doesn't match us. Maybe that does. By 12 inches. That ought to satisfy him. Even the other side is going to be 13 1/4 right now. And then when I pull those cabinets down, it'll be 14 1/4 also. But that should get us passing inspection. You saw in our last video that we had failed our inspection. We got that remedied, and we had the propane company come out, and now we have, try not to block the camera. Now we have our propane all hooked up. This baby's running, and it's putting out hot water, and but right now it's the hot water is just going into our electric hot water tank. So we need to fix that. I've got a little bit of a leak, but I think I might have fixed it down here on the hot water out. It was leaking just a little bit between these two brass fittings, and I think I've got that pretty much cranked down as far as it can go. So hopefully that will stop that leak. If not, I may have to take it back apart and put some pipe dope on it, put it back together, and see if that fixes the problem. But for now, it's working, and all of the other plumbing is working great. I don't have any leaks back there. And then, so I need to insulate the hot water lines so they don't lose heat as they're traveling, and disconnect the electric hot water heater. So that's going to be exciting. Then we'll be running our hot water completely off the tankless hot water heater, and we will be able to even have power during or even have hot water during a power outage. So this is running off of our solar. It's only 110 power, so it can run off of our solar. Our solar is only 110. It's not 220. We don't have the right inverters and stuff like that to be able to power 220 yet. That's going to be a little ways down the road. Those things are expensive, so we have to kind of budget for that. And then I've got the water turned off, that valve there, and then I've got it drained into the bucket, and all of the pressure is off of the system into the house, so we can shut that off. I'm gonna make sure there's no pressure in the hot water tank next. So it's got a pressure relief valve there. So I'm just gonna put the bucket under the drain spout. I'm gonna open this. Okay, while that finishes draining, we are going to be taking apart a couple fittings up here. I'm half a mind to just cut the PEX and not deal with the fittings right now, but we've got that right there, and since I can't reuse anything on this line here, I'm thinking I might just cut the PEX right here past the past the fitting, and just connect it there. I need to go get a small piece of PEX to go from there to over there. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut this PEX. I know some water's gonna come out of here. But because I let off the pressure, not very much. That's certainly pouring out a lot better now that it's not vapor locked. Now I'm gonna go do the same thing over there, but okay, got that cut off, and now I just need to bring that over to here, which it's really gonna be up at the level of the joists, but I'm gonna move that electrical because that's the electrical for the tank, so it can not go away yet, but it can go away here shortly, but it can be out of my way for the plumbing. So I'm gonna connect an elbow to the end of the PEX over there, and then that will run into this, and we'll be done. Okay guys, well, there we go. Now the hot water coming from our tankless hot water heater is coming through that and then going up into the house. That line goes off to the kitchen, the rest goes to the rest of the house. So that's that done. Now I just need to insulate it. Well, I got all the insulation on all the hot lines, and I'm gonna call that done enough at least. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos. Have a good one.